Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Today we're going to be talking about vitamin D.
Ooh, vitamin D.
Yeah, so we're going to be looking at who might be at the highest risk for deficiency.
Okay, so not just vitamin D in general, but more specifically like risk factors.
Exactly.
Okay, I like it.
So, we've done some deep dives into the general, function of vitamin D.
Right.
But this is going to be specifically looking at, who is most at risk. And, we've got a ton of information from different sources here, and it's going to be really interesting to look at.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things where, you hear about vitamin D and it's good for your bones.
Right.
But I think actually looking at who might be at risk is a good way to sort of personalize it and think about does this apply to me or someone I know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So before we kind of jump into that, I think it would be good to just briefly touch on why is vitamin D deficiency such a concern?
Yeah, sure. I think, as you said, most people associate it with bone health.
Right.
So, helping your body absorb calcium to build strong bones. And if you don't have enough, you can get things like rickets in children or osteomalacia in adults, which is like a softening of the bones.
Yeah.
But increasingly, research is showing that vitamin D is kind of involved in all sorts of things. There's been some interesting studies about how vitamin D might actually help protect against respiratory infections.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so things like the common cold or even the flu.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's really important for immune function as well. And then there's some research looking at, possible links between vitamin D and other things like heart health and mood and even some types of cancer.
Oh, wow.
But I think the main takeaway is that, it does a lot more than just build strong bones. It's kind of this unsung hero in the body.
Right. Okay, that's super interesting. So,
Yeah.
so we get vitamin D from sunlight.
Right. Yeah, that's one of the main ways. So when our skin is exposed to UVB rays from the sun, it actually triggers a process that makes vitamin D.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But so if that's one of the main ways, there are people who don't get enough sunlight or can't get enough sunlight.
Right, exactly. And that's where we start to kind of delve into those risk factors.
Okay.
Who might be more likely to be deficient.
Okay, so let's talk about those risk factors then.
Sure.
So, our sources talk about a bunch of different groups, but I guess the first one would be people who just don't get enough sun exposure.
Right. Yeah, and that can be for a lot of reasons.
Right.
You mentioned people who don't get enough sunlight. Older adults, actually, their skin doesn't produce as much vitamin D from the sun as it used to.
Okay.
So as you age, your body just kind of becomes less efficient at that process.
Gotcha.
And then you have people with darker skin pigmentation.
Okay.
So melanin, which is what gives skin its color, it acts like a natural sunscreen. So it's great for protecting against skin cancer, but it also means that people with more melanin, they need more sun exposure to make the same amount of vitamin D.
Right.
So you're more protected from the sun. You need more sun to get that vitamin D.
Yeah.
So, anyone with darker skin pigmentation is potentially at risk. And then you've got, people who are homebound.
Yeah.
So if you're not getting outside much, either because of illness or mobility issues, or, you work the night shift,
Right.
you're just not going to be exposed to enough sunlight. And then, geographic location.
Right.
Plays a role too.
So, if you live somewhere where there's not a lot of sun.
Exactly. Think about people who live in northern latitudes.
Okay.
Like parts of Canada or Alaska where, during the winter months they might have very little sunlight.
Right.
Those folks are definitely at higher risk.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I never really thought about the geography of it, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah. Okay, so that covers the sun exposure part of it.
Right.
But I'm curious about the food we eat. Can we get enough vitamin D just from our diet?
You can get some vitamin D from food. It's not as abundant as you might think.
Okay.
So fatty fish like salmon, tuna, mackerel, those are good sources.
Okay.
Eggs have some vitamin D. And then there are some foods that are fortified with vitamin D.
Okay.
So that means it's added during processing.
Okay.
So cow's milk is often fortified with vitamin D.
Right.
Some plant-based milks.
Okay.
Some cereals, orange juice, things like that.
Okay.
But even with all of those options, it can be challenging to get enough vitamin D from food alone.
Right. Okay. So are babies at risk for vitamin D deficiency?
They can be, yeah. So particularly breastfed babies are a vulnerable group.
Okay.
Because breast milk, while it's amazing for so many reasons, it's naturally low in vitamin D. So that's why pediatricians often recommend vitamin D supplements for infants who are exclusively breastfed,
Cool.
just to make sure they're getting enough.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah, and then there are folks who have certain medical conditions that can affect their ability to absorb vitamin D.
Okay.
So, for example, people with cystic fibrosis,
Okay.
that's a genetic disorder that affects the lungs and the digestive system, and it can impair fat absorption.
Right.
So because vitamin D is fat soluble, it needs fat to be absorbed properly.
Okay.
So if you're not absorbing fat well, you're not going to absorb vitamin D well either.
Gotcha.
And then Crohn's disease is another condition that can affect fat absorption.
Right.
Celiac disease.
Okay.
So anyone with a condition that impacts their digestive system, particularly fat absorption, is potentially at risk.
Okay, so it really is like such a range of people.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, our sources also mentioned a link between obesity and vitamin D deficiency.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. It seems a little counterintuitive because you think, well, if vitamin D is stored in fat and someone with obesity has more fat, shouldn't they have more vitamin D?
Right.
But it actually kind of works the opposite way.
Oh.
So because vitamin D is fat soluble, it gets kind of trapped in those fat cells.
Okay.
So it's not as available to circulate in the bloodstream and be used by the body.
Okay, that's kind of crazy. I would never have thought about it that way.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you wouldn't necessarily think about.
Right.
But it's something to keep in mind.
Wow.
And then, there are certain medical conditions, liver disease, kidney disease.
Okay.
Those organs are involved in metabolizing vitamin D.
Okay.
So basically converting it into a form that our bodies can use.
Right.
So if those organs aren't functioning properly, it can really mess with that whole vitamin D processing chain.
Okay, so, I mean, it sounds like there are so many different reasons why someone might not be getting enough vitamin D.
Right. Exactly.
Like, how do you even know if you should be concerned about this?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the best thing to do is, if you're concerned, talk to your healthcare provider.
Okay.
They can kind of assess your individual risk factors, based on your age, your skin tone, your diet, your medical history.
Right.
They can look at all of that, and they can actually order a simple blood test that measures your vitamin D levels.
Okay.
And then from there, they can recommend the best course of action.
Okay.
Whether that's lifestyle changes,
Right.
like getting a bit more sun exposure, maybe tweaking your diet to include more vitamin D rich foods, or if necessary, they might recommend a vitamin D supplement.
Okay, that makes sense. So really, I mean, if you're at all concerned, go talk to a medical professional.
Exactly.
Don't just try and diagnose yourself.
Exactly.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So to kind of sum it all up, vitamin D is super important for a whole range of bodily functions, from strong bones to, like we learned, potentially even helping with our immune system. But there are so many different reasons why someone might not be getting enough of it, from just not getting enough sun to, various medical conditions that they might have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this has been super interesting, and I know I've learned a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad.
So, what's the one thing that we really want listeners to, take away from this?
I think the biggest takeaway is, be aware of your own potential risk factors.
Okay.
Don't just assume that you're getting enough vitamin D. Think about your lifestyle, think about your medical history.
Yeah.
And if you have any concerns at all, just have a conversation with your doctor.
Perfect. Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us for another deep dive.
My pleasure.
And for everyone listening, we'll catch you next time.